Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And here in this video, I have an article for you guys from the Mobile Report. Some of you may have seen it if you watched the video this morning. I'll leave a link to it in the description again so you guys could check it out. So this new plan from T-Mobile is really so interesting and really so much to unpack that we just have to talk about this some more. We got to talk about this some more from different points of view, different perspectives. And then, of course, I want to hear from you guys in the comment section down below as well. So this completely blindsided everyone, right? This caught everyone off guard. The second that they announced this publicly, I got a lot of messages, and most of them responded right away with saying, you know, this plan blindsided me. I got that immediately. So I wanted to discuss a little more and unpack a few things in this video of some of my thoughts, and then of course get some of your thoughts as well. So the biggest thing I think out of everything and anything is that this came from T-Mobile. Some may say that they had the audacity to introduce a premium unlimited plan at the $100 price point. That is just insane. You would have expected that to come from a Verizon or a AT&T, not a T-Mobile. I think that is, out of everything, that is the biggest surprise that this came from T-Mobile. And I think many of you will agree on that across the board. The carrier that stood in front of audiences many times, in front of analysts, in front of investors, in front of consumers, that said, we are the value leader and the best network, introduced the most expensive premium plan. And trust me, I'm going to receive sheets in a little while. AT&T and Verizon have already ran analysis on this plan that they've already emailed out to the employees internally. I'm going to look at those. I'm going to check those out, and I'm going to see what they came up with to see if there's any response to this plan. It's just such a shocking surprise that this came from T-Mobile. If it would have came from AT&T or Verizon, it wouldn't have been such a big surprise that's kind of expected from them. But this coming from T-Mobile, I think, is a bigger deal because it's just such a surprise for the entire market. So of course this is going to mean better financials and everything. So analysts might actually get on board with this, and investors. But you know, that leads me to my next talking point. Who is this plan really for? That's a legit question. Who is this plan actually really for? Of course, T-Mobile is going to give you the spiel that it's for the existing base, it's for new customers, it's for anybody that wants it. We get that. I understand that. So I wouldn't even look for that commentary from T-Mobile. If anybody asks this question to a T-Mobile representative, it's a waste of a question, because they're going to tell you that's for everybody. It's for those who want to upgrade every year. But my genuine question is, who is this plan really for? Right? Maybe T-Mobile is seeing in the numbers that more higher prime credit customers have been applying to become T-Mobile customers. That's maybe why they introduced it. Maybe there is some truth to the survey that's out there that there's about 10% of customers, equaling about 33 million, that like to upgrade every year. But they didn't have to center an entire plan around that. That's why my question is still going to be, who is this plan really for? If there's a certain line on an account that wants to upgrade every year and take advantage of the promo at that time for that device that they're upgrading to, T-Mobile could have just upcharged $10 for that. That's monetization. You know, I truly think this plan is for those accounts that have a ton of free lines, to get them out of those free lines. But this is not the way to do that. To move that customer into a higher tier plan that already costs more, and then to upcharge $10 per line that's free, That's just too expensive. The consumer was looking for value in T-Mobile, and maybe the value is still there, but it's not as an attractive value as it once was. Nowhere near. So that's a perspective you really have to, the perspective and the question you really have to ask yourself. Who is this plan really for? And we may never get the actual answer. We can only speculate. I can sit here and tell you, oh, it's because of the free lines. I'm speculating. I don't know. T-Mobile, of course, will tell you they're looking for ARPA. They're looking for higher revenues. All of this from this plan. But again, if they can even get to between 2 to 5% of the base that takes to this plan, that's too insignificant. That's not gonna move the needle. There's still going to be 95% of accounts that run around with free lines. So this is, like I said, we can debate back and forth, but anything that we come up with, it's like we're still going to ask, who is this plan for? Even if they get to 10%, which in my book would be somewhat of a win, that would still signal that 90% of their entire base is on free lines or on cheaper rate plans. Like, in order for this plan to make sense to where it's really accretive, in my opinion, to the ARPA, the profits, the free cash flow, they would probably have to get upwards of 20 to 30% of people onto this premium plan. And that ain't happening. There's no way. There's too much value centered around T-Mobile for 30% of the base to all of a sudden want to upgrade to this specific plan. Remember, it's not an attachment. It's not something that you can add to your existing plan. No, you have to move the entire account specifically to this plan if you want to upgrade every year to take advantage of the existing promos at that time. So again, I question you, who is this plan really for? What is T-Mobile really trying to achieve with this? That's an answer like I said, we may never get, because anything that we speculate, it's not going to come out to anything significant. And like I said, T-Mobile is going to be lucky if they can get between 2 to 5% of the base to sign up for this. Lucky, in my opinion. And if they get to the 60% take rate of new customers taking to this Go 5G Next, then I'll eat my words. I'll be wrong. But I highly doubt that T-Mobile in this economy can get to anything significantly on this plan. And then the next talking point, what does this mean for T-Mobile moving forward? Where do they go from here? They already introduced now the highest premium single line price point to ever be seen in the mobile networking space. So where does T-Mobile go from here? What do they introduce next to maybe signal an uncarrier move, although I don't see this as being uncarrier anymore, or pushing out anything into the market that's more value accretive to the consumer? They're already at $100 per line for one line. Where do they go from here? Do they go 120, 140? I mean, you can only go up, you can't go down. Do they get more premium? I mean, we've been bashing Verizon for going the premium route and pushing all this premium stuff. And then here comes T-Mobile, and they're like, hold my beer. I just introduced the most expensive premium plan to ever be seen in the wireless industry. You know, it's some may say it's laughable. Right? If they would have done more to that plan, I would have been better at accepting it. Right? If, let's just say, they added in 100 gigs of hotspot, 200 gigs of hotspot, maybe even unlimited with a certain deprioritization threshold. And let's say they added in Spotify, Apple Music as a perk, and then added in the yearly upgrades, and then put out that price point. I would have been better at accepting it. I would have been like, okay, For this price point, they've added more value. You get to upgrade every year. You get to take advantage of this. That would have been more accepting, in my opinion. But they literally just added something to this plan to justify a certain price point that they could have included on the Go 5G Plus. They could have easily included that. Like I said, they could have included a $10 add-on, maybe even 15, if you desperately wanted to upgrade every year and take advantage of new promos. So, and then the last talking point, which I think is a big one, and maybe I should have started the video with this one, but is the network worth the cost? That's one thing we got to discuss too. You always got to sit back, look at it from a different perspective. Remember, the phones don't belong to T-Mobile. The phones have their own OEMs. T-Mobile is just a distribution channel. The thing that T-Mobile sells to us is the network. Is the network premium enough, large enough today? I'm talking today. I'm not talking next year. I'm not talking 2025. This plan is releasing Thursday. Is the network big enough, premium enough today to warrant that price point? I don't think so. I've seen the 2024 plan, the scaling plan of the network expansion, and it's massive. It's the biggest one I've ever seen from T-Mobile. But I'm talking today. If they would have released this plan in 2025, would have been a totally different conversation. But is the network premium enough, large enough today to warrant that type of price point? That's the last question that I have for you guys today. Right? The question, the biggest one, who is this plan for? Like I said, we may never get an actual reasonable answer to that, because I couldn't come up with one. I've been sitting here scratching my head thinking about it. Who is this plan for? And each way that I took it, I just couldn't come up with anything reasonable to add into this video to justify it. Like I said, if they get between 2 to 5% of the base on this plan, it's of no significance. It's not going to move the needle. And then if they get 20 to 30%, that would change things, but they're not going to get there. There's no way. There's no way that there's that many people interested in upgrading yearly to get into this plan specifically to warrant that type of price point. It ain't happening. Like I said, I'm going to look at the analysis sheet that I got earlier. But AT&T is estimating, I've been told briefly, AT&T is estimating if you include free lines at the $10 price point, they're thinking some 4 to 5 liners are going to be upwards of $275. That's expensive. So that puts Verizon and AT&T in an incredible position. Could they also raise pricing and introduce a price of that price point? They could. They very well could respond. But what I think they should do, they should really point this out, right? They should use this to their advantage. If I was Verizon right now, I would add yearly upgrades just to dig at T-Mobile. I would tell its customers, at this price point that we're currently the My plan, the $80, at this price point, you can upgrade every year if you choose to and take advantage of our promos. I would just put that in there just to dig at T-Mobile's plan. I wouldn't charge more for it if I was Verizon. I would use that as a tool to grow my base and to really show that you do not have to charge that $100 price point per one line to upgrade every year. That's just me. I don't know if Verizon and AT&T are going to do it, or they're going to take advantage of the situation and maybe Verizon introduces a price point for one line of $120. I hope that's not the way that they go, but it all remains to be seen. So make sure you guys stay tuned for more. Like, share, subscribe, follow the social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See y'all in the next one. Peace.